All right. Hello, my friends. Ruben Obed here, bringing you episode, I believe it's episode 8. And this one, I call this one What is What? And I'm actually addressing a person who commented on one of my videos relating to my system. He said that, there's a lot of small panels that would have been better to have larger panels and less wiring loss. And he's actually correct in saying that. I believe the commenter was a person by the name of JEC, and what he was referring to was to this. Okay, this is my solar array here. If you can see, this is a 100-watt panel, but my main system consists of 19 30-watt panels. So you would say, yeah, there's a lot of wiring going on, a lot of wiring loss, absolutely. you know then why did I decide to do that? Well, first of all, I live in Puerto Rico, and here in Puerto Rico, this 100-watt panel, to get it shipped here, the panel itself is about $100, but the shipping is about 40. So if I were to have built this system, buying these panels, yes, it would have been probably more efficient, but economically it wasn't into at my grasp. When I started building the system, guys, and still, I am not a wealthy guy, so money doesn't come easy, especially here in Puerto Rico after Hurricane Maria and the political situation here in Puerto Rico. So, it's not like we have all the benefits that we're having in the States. Plus, we have the shipping charges, which is another issue. So, what happens is, when I started building the system, all I could afford was one panel at a time. I couldn't pull out $140 easily like many other people, but I could pull out $38, which was the price of one of these, and with free shipping. So that is exactly what I did. Instead of saying, oh, solar is too expensive, I can't afford it. No, I took up the mentality of a watt is a watt. So 30 watts plus 30 watts plus 30 watts, boom, 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 boom. And I kept doing that all the way till I got to the other side of the roof. So with the little black panels, I made an array of 570 watts, and I did it at my pace. Each panel at the time was 38. These are discontinued. They don't sell these anymore at Mighty Max Solar, these 30-watt panels. They were $38 with free shipping. So that's what I did. Now, when I did come across a little bit of more money, I was able to get, one panel, one of these 100-watt panels, and then the other one was through a sponsorship. But the whole situation is this, that a lot of people say, oh, but you have a lot of wiring losses, and that's too many panels, too many little panels to deal with. Well, it's better to deal with little panels than to deal with a no power situation like we had. I was here in Puerto Rico during Hurricane Maria for an entire year with no power. So believe me, dealing with these little panels is nothing in comparison with having to deal with a situation of living with no power for a year or more. Okay, so that's why I built this system, and I'm well aware of the inefficiencies of the fact that, of like he said, wiring losses. But the problem is that if we start to focus on the ideal, we'll end up not doing anything. You know what I mean? So this is a route for people that don't have a lot of money. Okay, because a lot of times, you watch a lot of people on social media. They have they have solar systems that they build, they have RVs, but these are people who have good incomes. You know what I mean? But there's never an option for people who are basically broke. People don't have no money. I don't have money, but I could afford one for 38 bucks, and then maybe 2 3 weeks later, got another one, and next month I got another one. So I built this in a span of maybe 2 years, but I have my solar system. As you can see here, like I was telling you, Mighty Max Solar, they discontinued the 30-watt panels, but they still have the 20-watt panels, which were a little smaller. These run about $32. So right here, I have 80 watts of power. So if I do the same thing all the way down to the end, at my leisure, 32 bucks for, free shipping. Hey, an amp, they pretty much put out about an amp each. So hey, if I put 19 of these, it's a whole bunch of power, guys, without breaking the bank, little by little, without, the cost of shipping. Because you look at this, these are polycrystalline panels. These are beautiful panels, and they're big, they're 100-watt panels, and they run about maybe 90 to $100, which is a wonderful price. But then all of a sudden, $41 in shipping, and right there, it's like, damn, the shipping costs about the half the size of the panel. You know what I mean? So that's $141 that has to come out of my pocket. You know, when it's easier for you to buy a 30-watt panel for 38, get free shipping, then get that, and you still have money left over to go to McDonald's and go out to eat. You know what I'm saying? So, my channel, and I take pride in it, is a channel that is basically showing people with low incomes or no income, or you need some kind of income, that they can also build their own solar array. And this solar array, I have built it, and it serves me well. If you look, I would say maybe this, people might say, oh, that's a ghetto solar array. Well, it could be. You know what I'm saying? I'm using right now, I'm using these extension cords, and if the gauge, these are inexpensive. You could get 50 feet out of these orange ones. You know what I mean? These are 50 feet. You know, All right, we're back. Sorry about that. My connection was bad, but I was pointing out right there. That's a DIY, junction box that I made with some bus bars. I'm using some of the cables that you see there are basically orange extension cords. You know what I'm saying? It's accessible. It's cheap. They're good. You know what I mean? And if you take one extension cord and and you open them up, those are AC extension cords. They have three cables inside. When you join them together, man, that's a nice size gauge cable. And like I said, this is like the ghetto way of doing things, but you know what I mean. But it can be done, and it's working very, very well. You know what I'm saying? It's working very, very well. I just have it laid on bricks. I had them tied down, so the wind won't take them. And little by little. But shipping is really the reason, why I did it this way. Shipping. Now, that being said, you know, um, and ideally, yes, absolutely, I would love to have, an array of only the larger panels. But that's why I built this system this way, because had I been living in the States, no, I would not have built it this way, because, Amazon would have given me, or eBay would have given me free shipping to the States. This, with Mighty Max Solar, the polycrystallines were $75, and now I believe they ran out of the polycrystalline, and now they're only selling the monocrystalline at Mighty Max Solar. Those are about $89 plus the 41 shipping, you know. So that's why I've been doing it this way. But JC is correct in saying, yeah, it is more, it's more efficient, to have gotten the bigger panels. Had I been living in the States, absolutely, my array would have been with, the larger panels. So right now I am building this little array. Okay, this little array consists of 20-watt panels, and right there's 80 watts right there. You know what I mean? And if I would have bought the 80-watt panel, or a 100-watt panel, would have cost me 140 bucks. Right here, 120, about approximately at 32 a piece. So in the long run, yes, this will end up being more expensive in the long haul. Okay, because of the price of individual. But if you don't have the money, if all you can afford is 38 bucks, then you got one panel. And it's really exciting. I mean, and I don't know if I'm just simple, but it's really exciting every time you get a new panel. You got a new panel. Oh my God, it's growing, it's growing, it's growing. You know what I mean? So, but right now, this is the system that's going on here, and this is what's going on. And I appreciate JEC for his commentary, because it gives me what to talk about on the channel, which is great. So kind of going off of this a little bit, and this kind of is about solar. Um, Here in Puerto Rico, we have pretty decent sun, year round, and I'm talking here. Hold on, let me flip the camera. I'm speaking here of solar power, but I haven't. All right, sorry about that, guys. I'm getting a little bit of connection issues here, but like I was saying, I've been talking about solar, but I haven't really addressed the issue of thermal. So I'm gonna, mention that really quickly. Here in Puerto Rico, we have the sun, mostly year round, and it's pretty good. A lot of people have these units which are water heaters, with these panels, but they're not electrical panels; they're thermal panels to heat the water. I circumvented that. My house, what I did for hot water is very simple. Let me flip it right there. I took a barrel, painted it black. I put that lid on there just, to protect it against bugs and stuff. And I fill up the barrel from downstairs. I turn the water on. The barrel is full of clean water, and you see that hose. It spirals there. I painted some of it black, and I ran out of paint. But the whole point is that by that just being out here in the sun and that hose, let me tell you, I get really hot water. And that's just like a barrel. And I painted it black just to help it out a little bit. But just the sun itself, I mean, the water comes out so hot out of the other end of the hose that literally have to leave it on for like a couple of minutes, and then it tends to cool off just a little bit. But this is an exceptional water heater. Let me tell you, it's really. And I was planning on buying a literal water heater with propane, and I tried this because I saw some concepts of this on YouTube, and let me tell you, I have no need to buy a water heater. I am not gonna buy a water heater. There's no need. This water is like extremely hot. You know what I mean? And all it is just like standing up here on the roof. That's it. You know what I mean? The water's just getting hot. So, and not only this one, I have another cistern downstairs, which is actually in the shade, and even that water gets hot. I mean, we're in tropical island, So it goes to show you there's some certain workarounds that we can do, you know, um, to do our solar and do our off-grid living situation, you know. And this works, man. It works. That the whole coil of the whole coil. And this is a little coil. It gets hot as hell. I mean, literally, if you turn that water on and you put it on your skin, it'll burn your skin. It actually comes out that hot, you know. And a lot of people, as you see here, in Puerto Rico, if you look right over there, you know, those neighbors, they have the big black cistern over there. They have the little white one, the little box tote one, and you see that tank sideways. That's one of those solar water heaters. Okay, over there, if you look at those neighbors over there, that's another solar water heater. And what it has is basically like a water tank sideways, and it has two panels. They look like solar panels, but they're actually thermal panels, and they absorb the heat. But and if you see the neighbors in the front, they have those too. Now the thing is this: they have a water pump connected. It's some kind of a pressure thing. The reality is that that is totally unnecessary. And it is unnecessary. All right, let me get back my signal. All right, guys. I apologize. My signal's really bad, so I'm gonna try not to move right now. But like I was saying, to finish up this video, the people who have bought these thermal water heaters, I'm not saying that they're bad, but these thermal water heaters, they have like a water pump on them, and you really don't need it because if you have it on your roof, just the gravity alone will bring the water pressure down. You know what I mean? And that's what I did. That's what how I do it. So I don't waste gas. I mean, I don't waste electricity on pumping that water from the roof. Now, I do have a water pump for my cistern that is downstairs. Yes, that one feeds that feeds the entire house with the water pump. But in terms of like the hot water, the heater, I don't use that. I just plain old gravity. and it works. So sometimes, sometimes you gotta do things kind of in a ghetto way, you know, especially if the money ain't there, you know what I mean. But yeah, like I said, this is I think I'm one of the only people that has actually built their solar system this way, at a minimal cost, little by little. Okay, guys, my connection is horrible, but I think I pretty much got through the video. So, if you guys enjoyed this and you want to make a little donation, my PayPal link is in the description, and it helps us out to continue the programming and to, continue developing this off-grid living lifestyle. So, you know, if you have any recommendations or any thoughts or comments, please put it in the commentary so that I can address them and talk more about this whole solar thing. So, take care, guys. God bless, and take care.